This is Rebecca, the Steampunk Planner. We are doing a Cubed 2.0. It's not just going to be on the Esterbrook Cubed, but I have received quite a few comments that were a little confusing, and I kind of want to clarify a few things, maybe make some other suggestions, and see how it goes. So we'll start with the Cubed. With the Esterbrook Cube, the only thing that I found that I did not like about this is the fact that when I put anything in this back pocket, the bag won't sit properly. It tends to take on an angle like this. I don't understand why, but because of that, I put my two clips here in front. I do, now that I'm looking at these clips, want to mention one thing. A lot of the items that I have, like these clips or my charms here, come from Coffee Monster. And specialty items like these are a one-time thing. She may revisit them in different styles, but for the most part, they're one-time things. That's why they do not get links down below in my description. So I apologize if these are no longer available as you are watching this and are curious about it. From here, let me take off and drop my clips. And I just want to show you that I still have the same little stickers and everything in these two pouches. Same from when I did set this up earlier. I am going to take my little fob here, which you can actually hook this to your keys if you would prefer. Pull that off and hook it to your keys. You can leave it on. It's completely up to you, but I have put all of my Coffee Monster charms on here, and I'm going to leave it with my bag so that it's not hitting the table constantly. I'm going to tuck them right now. And then that way it's not going to be so noisy. So those are actually staying here for when I need them. I don't have anything in the back. Now, because this is fairly new, I do find that I'm having to direct the bag, and that is something that I'm not surprised about. I do that with all of them because of how I use them. One of the things at this point that I do want to address is I have received a few comments about questions on the fact that specific items can't be used in here. Correct. This case was created for fountain pens, along with any accessories that you personally use with your fountain pens. It could be inks. It could be if you're traveling and you want to put your electronic wires, because that's what's shown on the actual website. You can hook those up in here. For the most part, I prefer to put all of my planning supplies that I use on a continual basis in this bag. It works the best for me. I do actively use all of these pens. Now, in my previous video, you will notice that there was a pen here, and that is my Leonardo Momento Magico in sea sand. Unfortunately, it had to go back to Kirk to take a look at. There's nothing wrong with the nib that he created to my specifications. The problem he is thinking may be in the casing being cracked. I will find out later. I don't know, but Pinocchio had to go back to his carpenter. I'm looking forward to that coming back, and when it does, I will do my pen review at that time. The honeycomb, Esterbrook honeycomb pen with my needlepoint should already have launched for you to see the review on. And then, of course, I have my Raven, my winter white. This is the Ritma, and then this is the Pilot Prera, which I'm considering seeing about putting it up for sale because it is just too small. I mean, you can see here to here. It fits in here perfectly, but this case is mainly used for, as I stated earlier, is for people who use fountain pens. Would I recommend this case if you had a fountain pen that costs $500 or above in price? Probably not. Personally, I would make sure it went, when I was not using it, it went into the case it came in. Honestly, all of my pens, when I have pens that I want, got, purchased, but aren't currently using, because I do like to switch my pens out depending on the type of inks that I'm using, they will get cleaned and then placed back into the case that I received them in. So it's completely up to you on what you want to do. There are plenty of other cases out there. I have personally tried a couple, and this one is the one that I right now am the happiest with. Maybe next year, when I have the opportunity to go to a show, that will change. Unfortunately, I did want to get to a pen show this year. It's not going to happen. So I am not going to worry about that at this moment. Price point. A lot of people have commented on the price point. If you want a well-built pen holder case for your fountain pens, there is going to be a decent size price point. And I personally don't feel that the cost of this case is that outrageous. If you are not someone who is a fountain pen enthusiast, who does not feel that their fountain pens need to be in a case like this, fine, that's great. You will probably find the case that you actually want. This works for me. Esterbrook did not give this to me. Esterbrook did not discount this for me. They did not ask me to review this. This is my honest, completely purchased by me opinion. And I honestly was completely excited to get this case because of the fact that I've had so many issues with previous ones. So I'm going to delve in a little bit more on how I'm using it. But there is one thing I want to mention. There has been a lot of comments about this quote. Let me tell you, I didn't even notice it when I was doing my review because I was so excited to get this pouch that I didn't even see that there. Honestly, I think it's a little silly that this comment or this quote has become a thing in comments, but I find inspiration from things that you enjoy. Seriously, I think that's an excellent quote. I don't mind the fact that Esterbrook has put these colors on here. It's an elastic, it's holding my pens. This is for me. I am not going to be walking around going like this everywhere I go. This is for me. So I have put my Sarasa pens in here along with my Fludanescu pens because it works for me. I did remove my sticker pack from back here and put in my tweezers and my ruler because those really need to be in here. As for my pens, You can see I have reduced the number of pins that are in here at this moment because I'm starting to find that I really don't use all of these, and my black one is missing. I think I lent it to my husband. I'll get it back in here. But this I use daily. This zipper pocket is great. It holds, at this current time, my Coffee Monster encouragement cards, a weekly orders note card, and then from the set that I got at Christmas time from Leah, the leftovers are in here. So those all, along with a washi card, go in here without issue. They're available when I need it. And actually, come to think about it, there is something I do need to do. I will go into a little bit more detail shortly, but I have changed up some of my health books. So there we go. I'm thinking about switching things up and putting this in here because those will be great and separate from the rest of my stickers for my health journaling. And then the rest of them can easily slide in here. Do I absolutely need these right here? No, I'll find a different place. I do have that pocket on the back. All of this in here, and this closes well. As you can see, it does have that slant. Now, it, again, just needs a little bit of coaxing because I had it open for a while. I don't mind. Truly do not mind. So I'm going to grab what I took out of that pouch and see what it'll fit in there. Nope, that's fine. My encouragement cards will. They're not bulky, so that'll work fine. And I can take this little card of washi, put that in. All right, got to get those inside, and then that closes. And it was just at this very moment that I realized that there was another pocket here. I didn't even notice that the first time I was doing this. So even more fun. Am I bothered with the fact that there's a humongous Esterbrook on here? No, not at all. Everything's going to have their stamps on it. The cube, the name, the Esterbrook symbol. No. All of these Esterbrook tags. No, I don't mind. I don't mind that this is the green. They have a navy and they have one that's, I consider a khaki, but it's butter. All of them have the orange inside. Maybe they should have changed that up a little bit, but you know what? It's no skin off my nose. I don't mind it at all. Not at all. At least with these, I won't have them coming off like the little leather flag tags fob things do. I am happy. And as I break this in, I will be even happier. So 2.0 done, happy with this. Next one. I reviewed this before. I purchased this from Amazon. I'll make sure the link is below. It is designed for arrangement. And this is what I originally had everything in before. So I did have all my Sarasas. Oh, here's more one on my, put it in the wrong case. There we go. I'll put that over there so I don't forget it. Anyway, I have black and brown pens by Sarasa. And then this is just a regular ballpoint pen. One of my pencils, which is a drafting pencil, it's a gripping pencil. So it grips the lead. One thing I'm going to mention is all of my drafting pencils, it doesn't matter who it's by, or technical pencils, if you would rather that, I always close the lead on them before I put them away. I do that so I don't lose the points the shapes, or even the smoothness that I have created when working with them. If that happens where they break or they chip or anything like that, the next time I go to use them, especially when I'm working on the same image, I'm going to get a completely different texture, and that's just going to completely ruin it for me. This is an eraser pencil. I have 2 metal stencil rulers. Here are some other technical pencils that I have. And then over here, I have put the Tombow markers along with the Zig dot marker that I use on a regular basis. And that's what's on this side. And then I would put more stickers over here. And then I had more markers over here. Now I just have this little notebook so that wherever I go, when I sit down to sketch on something, I have that availability. And then an extra eraser out here in front, and then room here if I want to put anything there. This is perfect. I did get comments stating that the cube would not hold Blackwing pencils. Hello? There are other cases out there that are meant for those things, not the cube. Nowhere on the site, on Esterbrook's site, did it say that it's made for colored pencils, pastel pencils, inking pens. I mean, yes, I use my fountain pens to draw with, but it doesn't say pastels, oils, things like that. So go for stuff that work for the type of things that you do. And sometimes you will find other things that maybe they're not made for what you're looking for. Sometimes that's even better, because if it's made for colored pencils, maybe the price mark goes up. But maybe if it's an insert for a purse, the price can go down. This is a leather, what is considered a fountain pen pouch. This is one of the first ones I ever purchased, and I found that a lot of my fountain pens, because I prefer them longer, did not fit in here. So what I have done is instead taken all of my wood-handled comic pens with their nibs in all the different sizes, as well as my deleter, my Kakimori nib. And then I also have my 2 favorite glass dip pens in here. And this works beautifully for them. But I did get it off of Amazon. It was inexpensive, and it worked better for all of my ink work pens than it did for my fountain pens. I'm hoping some of this helped with what you're looking for. I hope it helped with maybe clarifying a little bit more on everything. I do want to mention the size. You can see how much longer this one is, how much wider this one is. So this one works very well when you have markers and long pencils and everything like that, where this one works very well for the fountain pens, which is what Esterbrook geared for. I do want to address how it looks one more time. This is nowhere near as glitzy as this either. I love the material that this is made out of because it's travel material, which means it can be cleaned. This, not so easy, but it can be wiped down. This one is a lot easier to clean. This is leather. I hope I don't ever spill anything on it. I know I will at some point in time, but I don't know the type of quality of leather this is, but what I do know is when I take these cases out, they're going to be in a tote, they're going to be in my backpack, they are not going to be a handbag that I go to a dance or a dinner or at a lavish event and bring one of these with me. I mean, really, think about it. One other thing that I did want to mention, and let me get it. In February, I did an unboxing of quite a few items, and this one was one of them. And since I'm revisiting, I figured let's revisit this. Allie Ray's became popular from her Instagram channel at Folio Planner. And she does these amazing layouts. She writes tiny and then has these beautiful layouts. She started creating journals. There's been a buzz about them, so I thought, let me give it a try. By no means am I going to ever give up my sterling ink. I will continue to be loyal there. This journal book has solidified that even more for me. Now, I did get really frustrated, and as you can see, I started pulling pages out. On the screen here, I am listing what I ordered. It is Tombaugh River 52 GSM paper, which is the Tombaugh River paper that is also in sterling ink. But there is something wrong with this paper. First off, I did order it, and I am going to actually, because I have found holding it up does not work. Now, number one problem, I ordered this in the 2mm because, I thought this would be cool. Everything is 3.1 millimeter in the grids. I thought, well, I write small anyway, so why not? Oh, this is too small. Way too small. Even for needlepoint nibs, way too small. So if I decide to try her stuff again, at this point that would be a no. But if I do decide to try it, it's going to be back at the 3.1. Next, I did tear it out. I apologize. And my husband did just gather the trash because trash went out today. But every time I wrote in here with my fountain pens, it grabbed. Let me go ahead and show you. I use this pen constantly in my Sterling Ink B5, and I'm going to use the scrap piece that I have here. Now, when I write, I don't press down hard. I expect my pen to work without effort. I expect this to flow easily so that when I am writing, it just goes. But when I do anything like the reverse, the nib is catching on this paper. Also, yes, it shadows, but I'm also starting to get bleed through. When I try to write really tiny, and you can see I'm still not even anywhere near in those boxes. I am using the Diatramentis Artist ink or document ink in the fog gray. And it is bleeding through. And the shadowing on this is horrible. Let me get, because I've been writing in it today with this same exact pen right here, same exact pen, same pen. Let me get this over. I'm going to back up. Same pen, wrote it today. Do you see anything? This is the same paper. The only difference is it has a different grid size. That's it. Made mistakes here. Nothing. Bleed through. Massive, horrible shadowing. Now, I may be able to use this book for the Allie Ray's book for doing one of my classes, one of my studies. That's fine. The other thing that I dislike about this book is the cover. This is definitely a fabric, but it honestly feels like every time I touch it, I feel like I should have splinters in my hands because of stuff that's sticking out of it. I'm always constantly trying to clean it because it grabs anything and everything around it. It's a well-built book. Don't get me wrong there. It is a well-built book. I will probably need to find a Sarasa pen that I will be able to use on it that will not bleed through or heavily shadow. We'll see. I will let you know. But this is very disappointing. Thank goodness I did have an extra purchase for an N1. I purchased this and then my husband decided he wanted a different color. So this was sitting in my desk waiting for its turn. And I am now using it for doing my health tracking and everything like that. I am using the needle point in here, but you can see I was using my winter white in the fog gray. This is the De Atramentis Document Black. And even here, you can see it through the page, but there's no shadowing. There is no bleed, nothing. Again, you have some shadowing. Let me lift it up. Very minor, no bleed. So very disappointed in this book. I will be surprised if I waste more money on another one of these. Sorry, Allie Ray, but so disappointed. And for those of you that don't think this is worth it, I understand. You have your opinion, you have your likes. Not everything is going to make everyone happy. Hello? But find what you need that makes you happy. And in that sense, find inspiration from things that you enjoy. Thank you for joining me.